Hello, I am on now. I'll give people few minutes to come in, but I really wanted to do this with everything that's gone on with George Floyd and Amy. I really wanted to come in and speak on that and give people an opportunity. I am enamored with the protests. I love that. How you doing, everyone? How you doing? I think the protests are amazing. They're good. However, I think we won't truly get the things we want without also economic reform and empowering black businesses. So I wanted to take this time to give black entrepreneurs some time to just ask me questions. This is really where I'm not going to do a webinar. This is not a seminar. You can ask me directly. You can start requesting videos to jump in and asking me what you like to see, what you like to talk about. And I'm going to focus mostly on branding, marketing, and general business tips. But I really want to dive into the meat of what's your specific problems and how, and hopefully give you some solutions that help you get towards your goal. So I would love to see who will be the first person to start asking questions, or even just telling me what businesses you guys are in, what you're doing, what your institute is doing, where are you in your journey. That's what I'd like to see now. So let's see who's in here. All right, how you doing, everyone? Come on, this is a Q&A. You guys gotta be willing to jump on, ask some questions, type some notes. I didn't structure this as a webinar. I really wanted to actually have some feedback in a session where I'm answering questions. So let me know what's going on, all right? All right. Come on, I know Mrs. Palacio has some questions. I know Bocho, we just got off the phone a few hours ago. I know Bocho must have some questions. Come on. How you doing? Nobody wants to jump on yet? Okay, so then let me just jump into some tips, I guess, until I see somebody sends me a request to join the live. Okay, so just started an online business. Where do I go from here? Thank you for the question. I would say the first thing you want to do when you start a business is to figure out who's your target market and try to get sales. You want to position yourself, you want to do a lot of things, but the reason why most businesses die is cash flow. So I want you to keep liquidity, cash, revenue. That's oxygen for a business. So I want you to keep that and be able to extend your life period. So the first thing I'll say is start trying to figure out how to get sales, how to bring in revenue. Something people always ask me, hey, I need investment, I need to raise money. No, your best investors are your customers. So figuring out how you can help them and give them enough value that they'll want to buy products from you. And a lot of that even is just asking the simple question of, where are they? Where are your customers? Where do they exist? And you have to put yourself in that place so that they can know about your business. All right? Okay, Art by Eric says he has a question. Eric, I don't see your question. Just to know. So, Abocho, how do I rebuild my company after a pandemic when people have no money? So, you have to change your target audience. You have to go. So there's two things, right? One, you can focus on establishing a relationship with the people who are still buying while nurturing other people who can't buy now, but they can buy later. And so figuring that out in terms of how to nurture that relationship to keep it going. And then focus on, there's still some people in this time who have money. There are people who are out spending money. There's still people buying cars. There's still people buying houses. There's still people doing certain things. So you have to figure out who that is and start targeting them for your short-term revenue goals. But then for your long-term revenue goals, you don't want to alienate anybody. How you doing, Ashley? Glad to see you joined. Okay, how to successfully make, all right, Eric, I see your question. How to successfully make a business and run it successfully. I'm 20, and next year I get my BA in business administration. I'm from New York. All right, how to successfully make a business. There are so many different ways to make a business, my question first would be, you so you need several things for business to become successful, right? You need to have the market, and you have to have a market. The market has to be able to pay for the need they want. So, meaning a market, meaning there's demand. People want whatever service or product you're thinking about. Two, you have those people have to be able, or enough of those people have to be able to buy those things or services that you're thinking about. And then the third thing is you have to be able to produce those things or service that you're thinking about. So those are the three things you want to think about when how do you start a successful business at 20. And I would say the best thing to do is start with, now we're getting a little bit out of marketing. Don't create a business plan. I am anti business plans unless you're getting investments. They will waste your time. You'll create a 10 to 20, 30 page document, which won't really do anything. Like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan till they get punched in the mouth. So there's something that's called the business model canvas, which I'll suggest you look into, and that'll help you map out your business goals, your business, almost as clear as a business plan, but you can do that in 1 to 2 days. All right? Okay, Irene Maxio, how do I start? So there's several ways to start. I think the first thing to start after is to ask people who you think will be your customer whether they'll buy your product. And so getting in front of as many people that you would want to sell your product to and putting it out there and seeing whether they're buying or they're not buying. And if they're not buying, trying to figure out why they're not buying. So that's the best way to start, in my opinion, is to get out there and understand the market, talk to the market, let the market interact with you. So you have to put yourself out there, promote your product, raise awareness from it, and then you're going to learn. It's constantly about learning. Look, I have my JD, and I audited business school. I will tell you that I've learned more running my businesses. My first business, I learned more than all my years of school. So I think school is great. I think education is great, but you will not learn what you need to know fully until you start doing it yourself. So jumping in there and getting in there. And I would love for somebody to join me here and actually ask a question so I can talk to somebody. All right. So just send a video request to jump on. How can I start growing my brand following without promotion? All right. So, it is one, you have to know who you want to promote your brand to. So one of the issues that people do, and the biggest mistakes they do, they just want a big following. You don't necessarily want a big following. Like I know millionaires. I have friends who are millionaires. They're barely breaking 1,000 followers. Some are breaking 5,000. I know people with, I'm not going to say how many, but I know people with followings that people be quite enviable of that are barely making ends meet. So it's not about necessarily, it's about having the right type of following. People who will probably buy your service or contribute to your service being sold. So how do you grow it? One, you have to create content. They follow you because you are fulfilling something for them. So either you're being entertaining, you're being educational, or you are, yeah, I'll say those two things, being entertaining or educational. So figuring out how you can do that, and then people slowly start coming in. Then you also have to figure out what's the best platform. So where are they congregated? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on YouTube? So which platform are they in reading a newspaper article? So where are Hey, my apologies. I don't know what happened. Instagram just disconnected. I don't know what happened. So my apologies. I'm back on. I don't know what questions that I did not answer. So my apologies for that, but please re-ask your questions and I'll jump right back into answering them. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Okay. It's always interesting, technical difficulties. Maybe I'll have to extend this a little bit. I had planned to get off at 9, so I'll try to extend it for maybe 5 minutes just to understand people who had to reconnect and check it out again. see. About a following and business. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, business model canvas is essentially it contains almost all the elements that go into running a business. So it talks about, and running a business centers around value proposition and your target customer. So I always like working from the inside out. So from the middle of the business model canvas, and it's a free document. You can pick it up. Well, you can just search Google business model canvas and then pick it up from there. Hold on. People are telling me the live got paused. All right. Somebody's back. I don't know what's going on. Wow. Yeah. People tell me the live got paused. Let's see what's going on. Let me restart this. Or hopefully people figure it out and okay. All right. People coming back in. I don't know. I'm seeing messages from other people that silent alerts that everybody's having trouble getting back on. I just switched from Wi-Fi to my regular connection. I don't know if that's the issue, but I did that. So if we do have any Wi-Fi issues, hopefully it won't happen again. So as I was saying about the business model canvas, you work from the inside out, in my opinion. That's the best way to do it, and start off with your value proposition. What makes it attractive to your customers? Why do your customers want your product? What's the core tenets of the value? Are you making their life easier? Are you helping them make more money? Are you making them feel good? Are you entertaining them? What's the value proposition that people want? People will get from watching or partaking in your service or product. All right. The live freezes and kicks us out. JP, is it freezing still? Or how's it going now? Is it freezing? Is it letting you watch? Let me know. Yeah, I'm getting a few messages. I don't know what's going on. If you guys can also share it to other people. There was a few other people in here, and I don't know if they know how to get back in. Okay, thank you. All right, looks good. All right, so then I'll continue. So that's following. So other than creating content and putting out content, so there's two methods, right? You always want quality, but however, quality typically diminishes with quantity, right? So if you're trying to post several times a day, thank you, JP. If you're trying to post several times a day, you're going to, or 5, 10, you're going to diminish in quality because there's only so much good product you can put out, right? Versus if you try to put 1 or 2 posts out per week. That's just the nature of things. If you have a bigger team, it's easier, and you can do that. You can constantly put out great quality products. However, the more you put out, usually you dilute the product a bit. So another thing which is great for developing a following, and I don't think the lady who asked this is back in here yet, but hopefully she'll be able to rewatch this. Another great thing for developing a following is collaborations. Like, I'm going to shout out Joel, JP, on this. JP, what, you have 15, 20,000 YouTube followers? How many? JP and I, we do sometimes collaborations. He brings me on for his YouTube channel, and I'll go and speak to his followers, and that helps bring more followers to me. And also I provide value to him by providing more content, things like that. So doing collaborations where you can provide value to the people you're collaborating with, and you don't always have to shoot for the person with 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. Sometimes collaborate with somebody with 100 or 500, depending on what platform you are, because you're going to continue building that way, right? You're going to continue building. It's not always about going after people with the biggest numbers, because that's going to take you a long time to get there, and they're probably getting so many requests, they really don't want to deal with that. Rather, I think it's better in many ways if you start looking at the people who have less of a following, and because they usually typically don't get collaborations requests, so you can really connect with them. They're more likely to want to work with you, and you can kind of learn the ropes as you go that way. And then as you build up your audience, then you can go collaborate with people who have a larger following. All right. We lost a bunch of people. Okay, any more questions? Hold on, let me see if I can tell a few people that this is on that was kicked out while you guys ask some questions. Let's see. I'm just inviting a few people that were on here that I saw. Let's see. All right, I see Julius is in here. Okay, so anyone else? Any questions? Let me know what questions you have. As I said, I'll stay. Some people are messaging me saying they can't see the live. I just got to keep going sometimes. I can only control what I can control. So what questions do you have? Please let me know. I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to answer questions. How you doing, Maureen? I didn't even know you had Instagram. Good to see you. And how you doing, Sylvie? All right, nobody has any more questions about their business? Nothing? All right, so another thing I would say is about marketing. Make sure you want to build up your following right on Facebook, Instagram, etc. You want to build your following on Instagram, etc. But you also want to make sure you have the data and you have your contacts offline as well. So as soon as possible, you need to get the email addresses, contact information, things like that. So getting an email list through MailChimp or something like that can be super beneficial, because then you don't have to worry about whether the algorithms are showing all your content to your followers. You can shoot out an email blast and you can have more in-depth data on your clients. All right. So I'll say that. Now, I read a lot of books. Yes, I'm doing 100 books in 1 year challenge. I haven't done a few in the last few days, but I'm going to get caught up starting tomorrow. I was prepping for this. So recommendations for books on entrepreneurship. Oh gosh, there's so many. There are so many. I would say Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think everybody needs to read. I know there is some controversy around that, but I think everybody needs to read that, because the biggest thing about entrepreneurship is mindset. And that's what that book works on. It helps you develop the entrepreneurial mindset, because we're often in schools, in life, we're taught to be employees. And I think if you want to work your 9 to 5, I think that's you, right? I'm not going to tell anybody what success is for their life. I truly believe everybody should define success for themselves. However, I also think there's something about being brainwashed to think that you should only look at employment and working for somebody else. So I think Rich Dad, Poor Dad does a great job of helping you break that type of viewpoint. Now, other books, 10X by Grant Cardone is about pushing the boundaries. I think The 4-Hour Work Week is a great book. It's about how to create systems and not just working hard, but working smart. Oh, there's so many good books. So many good books. What is it called? OKRs. Now, that's a more advanced book, but if you start that early in your entrepreneurship journey, it's called it's Objective Key Results. It's by the guy who was a business coach to the founders of Google and helped implement that at Google. It's about objective key results. It's something like KPIs. Now, Maureen, so how much money do you think one needs to start up? Honestly, this day and age, if you're able to get on some Wi-Fi, depending on your business, you can start with $0, right? Well, if you have a phone or if you have access to a public library, you can start with $0 and just work your way up. It really depends what type of business you're in. Now, I'm not talking about the legal aspect of incorporating and things like that. Even though I'm a lawyer, I said specifically I'm not going to give legal advice on this call because my focus is mainly branding and marketing, so I don't want to dive into that. But I would say you can start off anywhere 0, 1,000. Some businesses don't need 100,000, but it's a lot less expensive than you think. And one of the biggest things, I think, more than even diving into money, people think you have to quit your job to start a business. Actually, for most people, I recommend doing it part-time, whether it's only 1 hour, 2 hours you can commit per day, 30 minutes, but just get started. Get started and you'll see you just get started and you still have the safety net. People who enjoy that safety net of having their income, having their health insurance, things like that. But you can start trying to get clients and build it up slowly. You don't have to just switch out and jump both feet into entrepreneurship. You can start off so slowly and build it up that way. Come on, I want somebody join in and request to join in before this ends. That's what I was looking for more like collaborative. All right, Joy, Sylvie has a question. What's your question, Sylvie? And Crane Janie, I see you have a question next. Stock market. In investing in the stock market. Okay, I'm gonna stick to business advice, but stock market, I like tech stocks. I like your Amazons, your Apples. I think it's all about price, right? Knowing what you're buying, knowing why you're buying it, and not always necessarily looking for the cheap stocks. There are reasons things are, of course, the way they do. And I think I'm going to actually recommend a few books. I'm going to recommend Money. Actually, Money. Money is it's by, Robbins? Tony Robbins. It's by Tony Robbins. He interviewed a bunch of great investors. So Money, that's a great book for learning about investing. I think Snowball is another good book. And then there is, I'm forgetting the name of the investment Bible. I'm forgetting the name of that book. Somebody please put that information. Maureen says, what do you mean about controversy? I'm not going to get into that controversy because we're going to save this video, but I'm not going to get into that controversy. I think it's a great book. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my top books that I recommend. Some other people feel different ways about it, but I love the book. All right, Jay. So Jay's a freshman in college, and I'm trying to figure out a way to make money right now if I'm not starting a business. Any suggestions? Depends on what you're majoring. I'll say you can start writing content, right? Ghostwriting for other people, delivering content. You can be a virtual assistant, a personal assistant. I think being a personal assistant is underrated, especially if you can be a personal assistant to an amazing entrepreneur. Because when you're a personal assistant or executive assistant, I'm intermingling them, but let's say executive assistant. When you're executive assistant, you have more access to their coming and going, and you can watch them more closely. You can see their habits, you can learn their good habits, and then you get connected to their connections. So that is an amazing thing that may not pay that much, but the wealth of experience, if you're able to work under a great person, I think that'll be a great thing for you, Jay. Would I be able to make a post with these entrepreneurship books? Yes, I will do. I'll do a post. So while we're here, I want to say a big thank you to my team, especially Irene and Gabby for helping put this together, and they'll get on that. Please see that. Gabby will get on making a post for entrepreneurship books. And I really want to thank them because without them, this wouldn't be possible because I've had a lot on my plate. I wanted to do this, but they really helped make it happen. Let's see who else is in here. Hello. What's the best way to market your business? We've done flyers, social media, billboards, sign spinners, and we still do not have the quantity thing. Okay, so I would say you're looking for the medium, right? I would say first you have to look at where is your client, right? You're looking at the way to message them rather than where you should message them. So I think that's a great, figure out where you should message them in terms of where are your clients and who's your client, right? So sometimes people go too broad. They want to market to everybody. No. If you already have clients, look and see what trends are among the people who are buying. Is there something that they have in common? And then out of that, you have a 20%, which is depending on how much volume you have, but 20% is usually of your clients usually represent 80% of your profits. So figure out what that 20% is so you can replicate that and keep going up and keep finding out where they live. So let's see, what's your business? Paradise on Ice. If you tell me a little bit more about your business, I'll give you a tip, all right? So tell me a bit more about your business. This is here. I'm not holding anything back. I'm here to give real marketing advice, real tips. This is not a sell, buy anything else. Come on, sign on later. If you have, tell me what your business is, and I'll tell you what I would do. All right? Facebook marketing ads. So a great resource you can use, I think, is Canva. Canva is free. They have a premium version, but it helps you design your ads, your print ads. It has a templates that you can jump on and use that as tools. I would say, when you say resources for marketing ads, there's video editing resources. So I'm going to ask a little bit about what you mean. Make sure you have your Facebook pixel installed in your website. Most websites, if you use a template like Wix, what's the other one? Squarespace, Workspace, they should have they should have spaces in the code where they'll help you plug that in, but make sure you have your pixel connected so you can track what's working and what's not working. So you can learn, and Facebook can also learn from your data. All right? Daiquiris on the go. Okay. Ooh. All right. So you're looking at you're looking at drinkers. Daiquiris. You have to figure out what age and who is buying. Is it mainly women? Is it mainly a specific demographic? Like, is it you can't say teenagers. Is it the 21 to 25-year-old crowd? Where are they finding out about you? Where are they hanging out? So I would say with that, I would make visual content and play on, from a strategy standpoint, I would play on the emotion of getting it in terms of why are they, not just like what you're giving them, but why are they drinking that? What are they trying to do? Why are they ordering that? There's a specific reason why you order a daiquiri versus a beer, right? So figuring out what emotional state they're trying to tap into and what's attracting them to and playing on that, right? So, okay, does it, are they a party? Are they more social? What's the state of mind are they in? Okay, own a juice company and you're looking to increase your, so I'm guessing if your juice company is a health juice, yes, okay, health juice. You're in a great space right now. You are in a great space. It's terrible what's going on with COVID-19 and coronavirus. I've been affected a lot by that, so I do not take it lightly. I had some close people die with that. What it has done, unfortunately, and kind of fortunately, it's made Americans concentrate more on their health, right? And I know people from all over the world may watch this later on, but it's made Americans, even anywhere across the world, focus on their health. So playing up on, from a marketing standpoint, playing up for the health benefits of your juices and why whether it's organic or what the actual benefit will be to the client, then you don't focus on the features, focus on the benefit, what they will get, whether it's increased respiratory function or, I don't know if Instagram has tight rules on something, so I want to be careful what I say, like weight loss or something like that. You can play around with weight loss a little bit. But things like that, dietary, what can it do to increase your immune system? All right? Ooh, how to resource on Facebook ads. Fun, man. So let's jump into Facebook ads. Let's jump into some real stuff on Facebook. So for Facebook ads, one of the biggest mistakes, how to funnel your target audience is figuring out who your target, this is what I'm going, figuring out who exactly is your target audience and trying to get as specific as possible. So I know you're a dentist. Remind me, is that the same business you're doing with your sister, Rose, or is this something else? Let me know that. All right? I'll wait for a second so I can. So as I said, I would focus down on your target audience in terms of, and playing. So this is one thing I'll tell you guys, you don't need a lot of money to advertise on Facebook. You can advertise, you can have a $2, $3 budget for a day and just do one day of ads and see if it works. So I want to get out of the stigma of, oh, you need a lot of money to advertise on Facebook. Start off with $2, $3. When I used to run an e-commerce website, a couple of e-commerce stores. And the person who taught me, that's how I kind of learned about like direct marketing and stuff like that, is they start off with micro budgets, $2, $3. I'm giving you inside tips, $2, $3. They'll test out a product, see if it runs. And then if it's not selling after a certain point, they'll just stop that budget. We used to have a 2-3 day run rate. And then if it's not running, we just cut that product. So running $2, $3 to figure out if you're doing things right. Now, now what I said, while you're doing that, you can also split test, A/B test, which is you're running, either you're changing, you can change many different variables. So let me back up. You can change your target audience, you can change them, or you can change the message or something else, right? So figuring that out in terms of, okay, let's see if this demographic works. And I suggest getting very tight on your demographics in terms of, okay, using the and feature. So not the or, where it can be X or Y, like and. It has to be, they have to fall into X and Y categories. I usually use and. So X, Y, and Z, because I want to make sure if this is not the right demographic, I want to stop running those ads as soon as possible. If I make it too broad, then I'm not able to figure out if I'm doing something wrong or I need to change quickly. I can get mixed results, all right? And also, the more narrow you make it, this is a problem too. The more narrow you make it, the better it is, because you're able to craft your message to that audience. As I said, you have to have the right product, you have to have the right audience, and they have to have money to buy it, right? So that's having the right audience and them having money to buy that. That doesn't always go hand in hand, right? So you have to drill down which part of that audience has the money to buy, or does that audience have the money to buy? So being able to play around with these scenarios will help you get to that. Online boutique. All right. Thank you, Paradise. Facebook or IG ad, which do I recommend? It depends. It really depends who's your target market. What I'll say is, just like I said with the split test, let me just make sure I'm not missing any questions. What about selling art? I'm going to jump back to you. Sorry for missing that. Facebook or IG ad, which do I recommend? It depends on your target market, right? So understanding who's sitting on where or how they're ingesting. What I would suggest if you're doing that is just to test both, right? Run $5, $10, $20 sets and test it for a few days and see, okay, which am I getting more responses from, Facebook or IG? And whichever one you're getting more responses with, cut the rest, cut the weight, don't try to resuscitate, and put more money in the thing that's making you money, right? You want to find out very quick which has better ROI for you. Okay, what about selling art? Okay, so I would say it depends, right? Just like anything, it depends. Like you can, Instagram is a great place because it's very visual, right? Instagram is full of art, visual depictions, things like that. So I would say that's the first thing that comes to mind. But Facebook can work too, because Facebook demographics, they may be more, depending on where they're at, they may be more intrigued in art. Now, I don't want to stick on just social media. You may want to look at art catalogs, art magazines. You Google AdWords, pop-ups. There's many different places for you to place the thing. The key thing is about who is your client, right? Are you selling black art? Are you selling classic art? Are you selling modern art? What are you doing? And where do those type of people who enjoy those art and purchases that type of art, where do they usually congregate, right? Because you're interrupting them in some way. So you want to figure out where they are so you can interrupt them, hopefully positively, so they can purchase your product. Thank you very much, Paradise on Ice. All right, Crane said he asked a question. What was your question, Crane? Sorry, what was your question? What was your question? Let me jump up to see if I see Crane's question. Oh, all right, somebody sent a request to join in. All right. I'm bringing he's unable to join. I missed that. Okay. Would you be, yes, Crane, I believe I answered that question. Crane Jenny, I believe I answered that question. Yes, my team will make a post on books, entrepreneurship books that I recommend. All right. Oh, it's my pleasure. Any more questions before I jump forward? All right, I'm not seeing any more questions. So it was a pleasure. Let me know if you want us to do this again. And I will give somebody like 30 more seconds before I jump off. Oh, what do I think about investing in hospitality? I would say I'm not an investment advisor, so I'm very self-conscious about what I recommend for other people. And I think you should know any industry you're in, you should understand why you think that's going to go well. And I think you should actually connect with a lot of investors, right? People often think like wealthy people don't want to share. They actually like the more money you make, I find people share more in many ways on how to keep on making money and how to grow. So I would definitely connect in some reputable investment groups and learning more about that through those groups. So what was your other question? Somebody said, when's the next session? I'm thinking about doing it again next Wednesday at 8:30 again. I'm going to think about doing that. It really depends. I don't see your second question. So can you please let me know what's your other question? I'm looking through to see back, but I don't see your other question. Can you send your questions in advance? The meetings with those investors. I think Todd Billions is a great person. Ian Dunlap, the master investor on IG, he's a great person. Uh, and there's some other ones, but those are some great people. See, Rajane, yes, Rajane. And can you send your questions in advance? Sure. I'll take just DM me some questions. We'll write them down so we can answer them. Please DM me some questions for the next session, and we'll write them down and answer them in a. So when we're doing the one on legal trademarking, I'm going to have to get my friend to do that. I don't know. Law has too much liability. That's why I don't like doing law, even though I'm licensed in it. Because just saying one little thing that can be slightly different for one person, I try not to do webinars on law or ask questions because really, usually the answer is it depends. It's situational. It really depends, and I have to get so many more facts to know. What are some good ways to engage your market to get the pulse on them? Ooh, uh, I think putting out one of the best ways is really we talk a lot about marketing, about digital marketing, right? But actually calling them, right? Calling them and seeing what they want. I think we often think everybody wants the same thing, and that's not true. So actually engaging them interviews, I think that's a lost art, especially for new business owners. So engaging them in conversation and putting your product, let the market tell you about your product, right? Even when we were setting out this information, I told my team, hey, watch the comments. Look how people are responding, right, to whether they want to join this or not. And we mostly positive comments, almost no negative comments. So we saw that people really wanted to engage in this. So watching how people react and convert is a great way to really engage your market. And then remember, don't please, please, don't just sell. Nobody wants that. Nobody, even your best customer does not want you just to sell. Say some things about yourself personally. Tell them some ways they can use products better, be informative, but please don't make every post a sales. I would say it should be maybe 1/3 of the time that you should be making sales posts, all right? But also don't try to sell too infrequently either, right? You're in business. Be proud of selling your stuff, but don't try to sell too infrequently either. Okay? All right, so let's see. I'm going to jump off now. I see Rajane. I haven't seen you put another question here, so I'm going to jump off, and we'll do this again. Let's say we'll do this again next Wednesday at 8:30. All right? Does that sound good to everyone? Okay, great. All right, so wish you the best. Thank you for tuning in. Please let your friends know about this. The more the merrier, because we all have to lift each other up. Think about you're only as rich as your network. So continue improving everybody's lives. All right, let's connect. Let's share this with everyone. As you see, I'm not selling anything on here. I really just want to help you guys. Have a great one.